Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess and Bridget's Grove with a quick little flip through video of my daily practice prayer book from June, as well as my Simple and Sacred guidebook for June. And I do make the guidebooks for our Goddess Magic patrons at Patreon, so please feel free to join us over there to get these really rich resources, if I do say so myself. My nice little journal cover here is from Living Made with Love, Lacey Hoyt on Etsy, and so it has a little pocket in the front, so you will see that I still have some things that I didn't use. I colored these cards for our Ariadne circle. I didn't use those all up yet. I have some magic mail, art mail from Amanda Follow the Phoenix Soul. I have some cards and things like that, and bookmark from the library reading program. These things will get moved over to my July prayer book. So I don't usually leave anything very loose in the pocket. I do have my Freya sticker here on the front. There's also, there's stuff still in the back too. So that was from Amanda Fall. A lot of stuff that I haven't used yet. And so this will all get transferred over to my July book and I will use it then. So then there's also a little pocket in the back there that has some other stuff in it. I have to confess, I kind of forget that there's stuff back here in the pocket, and then it's a little out of sight, out of mind. And so I have to actually be like, oh, look at that. And when I go back. So this is going to be a pretty quick little flip through. Just looking at the book from June. I always make pockets with the snapshot cards. The sampler pack of snapshot cards is always free for everybody once a month at 30daysofgoddess.com. You just have to scroll down to whatever the current practice update is. You don't have to sign up for anything or do anything to get the cards. They're right there to download for you. Then if you're a member of the Goddess Magic Patreon, you get a lot more cards and more support for your practice. But I really want this practice to be open and accessible to everybody, so there's always fresh, free resources available at 30daysofgoddess.com every month. I keep my runes in the little word pockets, so our theme for June was renew, and then I have the core prayer I consider this kind of an anchoring prayer for the month, and so that's in there along with my extra runes. Those will also get transferred over to the July prayer book. My moon wheel is here as well. This can be used in a lot of different ways. I use it for mood and for cycle tracking and for rune tracking and all that. So I'm just going to go through the pages pretty quickly. This is a real rose petal, FYI. It looks kind of like a sticker, but it's not. And so if you spot anything that you want to know about, you can let me know in the comments and I will explain what it is. A lot of stickers represented in this book. And I will say that during the busy months of the summer, my practices have shifted a little bit. So the writing is so vital. It's the core of my spiritual life, is to write each morning. But the heat of the weather recently has had me walking before writing, and I have to say I have not quite hit my stride, metaphorically or literally, with that schedule, because I deeply miss the morning practice time. So I go for the walk first as soon as I get up, and I just run away on this walk with my husband. And then when I come back, I find like I have to get the mood back to reharness, this is a real rose too, to reharness the spirit in which I wish to explore these practices and offer my prayers and write my new content. And so I come out maybe more like 10 o'clock in the morning now instead of earlier. And I find that there's like a little something missing for me personally from my writing, from my practice. I'm hot, I'm sitting out here kind of sweating. And so it's missing, there's something missing that I haven't quite hit my stride with yet. But I also think it's important to be flexible. I say always, this is from my sister's Pride celebration that she organized. So I was lingering on that page to point out this fun stickers from her booth. I was waiting in line for food and I sent Elena and my mom to get those stickers for me so I could have them for my book. And so anyway, I don't need to muse too much on being too hot to write, but I think it's important to remember that this 30 Days of Goddess, daily practice in general, a goddess-based path in general, these practices are here to support us, to hold us, to nurture us, to replenish us and renew us, not to tell us what to do and not to shame and blame us. So if we have to change something, like the heart of daily practice is this infinite experiencing that's possible in the sacred sameness of the container. So I need to remember that. I'm doing this Ariadne circle, and so that's a card from Shakina's book, Ariadne's Thread. And so when we meet, and this is paper, my friend Chalet has a paper pattern book based on her own tie-dye work and art, and so that's what that's from the summer library reading program, etc. So anyway, I'm just modifying and adjusting, and I think it's okay sometimes to recognize that we're not getting it all right. We're not, quote unquote, all right. We don't necessarily have it all figured out. And sometimes we can feel a little off. I do find, and I've shared that before, that our sense of longing for something to be different, our sense of wishing something was different, our sense of missing something is very often our roadmap back home. So if I feel like I need more solitude, if I feel like I need more time to write, it is, these are from Father's Day, the cards that my kids drew for Mark. And I find that that's the roadmap back home. This was an envelope that came with a card from Freya for summer solstice. And so I cut the envelope thing out and made it into a little pocket, which was pretty fun. And my son, Tanner, there was two, one on one side of the envelope and one on the other. And so my son, Tanner, made one too. He has been writing every day for approximately, I think, 150 days now. So he has 150 pages of book that he has made. And he writes a little synopsis of his day every day for that. He's 9.5. And so he decorates his page and he put that matching one in there as well. But anyway, oh, and there's a card from her as well. And, oh, and a lovely feather that I found. I forgot about that. That was just a treasure. That made my day. I was so happy when I found that. And then this was Juneteenth. And Kim Sauron organizes some swaps for us in the Goddess Magic community, and she put this son has seen some stuff, which made me laugh. So it's actually, I put the card in backwards because I wanted that part to be present in the book instead. And then here's pressed flowers from our own summer ritual. So I make the honey cake, and I kept the flowers from our ritual and pressed them. I left some of the flowers out as an offering, and then along with a piece of the cake, and then I pressed some of the flowers from it into the book as well. So I don't remember exactly what I was saying about practices changing, adapting, etc. But sometimes when we sense that like something's off and we wish it was different, it's not a sign that we're wrong. It's a sign to return. It's a sign to come back. So I have to reconcile. And one of the most powerful and challenging lessons of my life is to recognize that I have to choose. I do have to choose, and it's very important to me to go for a walk. It's very, very important to me to write. It's very, very important to me to keep up with my daily practice. When in the heat of the summer. Oh, this is the card from Freya. Oops. Who was the other card from? Sorry about that. I remember getting the other card. I'm going to go back to it because I want to give the person credit. That one was from Kim. Was this from Colleen? Colleen! That one was from Colleen. Sorry about that, Colleen. Thank you both for the lovely cards. I remembered getting several lovely cards. And these are more papers from Chalet. But anyway, when we do have to choose. And so when we have those conflicting kind of senses of needs, and these things are both just absolutely vital to my well-being, to my soul health, to my mental health, to my physical health, they're vital to my well-being. So I'm making them work. I'm still doing both of them. But the writing and the time spent outside is getting less time than is ideal for me from a spiritual and mental perspective. So this is a little snippet. We took my son on a campus tour, had a delicious salad that I put in the picture. And then that was the art campus brochure that I cut up and made into a little fold out. This is from the art campus brochure as well. And, I didn't put my mood in there. Anyway, this month has been very, very full. June was very, very full. And I was going to say you could see that reflected in my pages, like my pages look like they're done more quickly or like they don't have as much going on. But as I look through, I'm like, actually, there's quite a lot going on still here in these pages. And, that's what else I was going to say is lately I've been doing the art part of my work on the page in the evening with Tanner, my son, while he's working on his page. We work on our pages together, and that's been really nice. I gave a presentation at Writers Club at the library, and so that's pictures from there. And I'm sure it was a treat to them to get to hear me speak. But anyway, that's there. And so sometimes we have to adjust our practices. And that's really the main thing that I wanted to say is that sometimes we have to adjust our practices but what we cannot do is give up on what replenishes us, what holds and supports and nourishes us. We can't give that up, but sometimes we need to adapt and be flexible with our practices so they don't become a shame and blame trip, but instead continue to support, nurture, and hold us as we grow, as we change, as we learn, as we adapt, as we evolve. So this was my card for the month. That was the packets I made at Gaia Goddess Gathering, and then this one was one of the leftover ones. I saved 12 out, so I'd get one every month. It's kind of like a fun surprise to get to open. I actually just love it. I look so forward to opening up and seeing what my Oracle card packet for the month is. And then these are the materials I make for our Goddess Magic patrons and our Goddess Guidance Club there. And so there, I got this idea for, we're doing a Woman Runes immersion right now over on the Goddess Magic. And I saw that Karen, one of the Patreon community members, had made a bookmark with the miniature runes on it. So I immediately had to run and do that also because it was so cute. And oh, then it was over already. I was feeling like I had to hurry up and keep talking, but I see that this is, so the books all have 31 pages in case you're using them in another month. And so I usually will probably finish this page. I'll probably do something else to it. I hadn't realized I hadn't done that. July 1st was Mark's birthday, and we went out of town briefly, so I didn't necessarily do my same end of the month wrap up to my prayer book, again with the being flexible and the practice of being flexible to hold and nurture you. So we can't give up our practices, but we also sometimes have to adapt them as possible. So there's a couple of kind of empty looking spots here that I will probably do something with, or sometimes not. I do find that something that really holds people up sometimes is feeling like they're not doing it right, or they don't have enough time, or they feel like they can't do everything, so they feel behind. And I am here to say, like, dear one, just move on. If you don't finish the book, if you have a blank page, if you have stuff that's cut out that you didn't use, do not let that be a chain around your ankles. Just fold it up and start again. And so I do get questions sometimes from people who are going back to, you know, things from January or things from other years. And I really do, like, with all the most love and respect and care and compassion, I say, just start from where you are right now. Start from where your feet are. Start from where you are right now. Start from this day. Don't go backwards. You don't have to go backwards. And it's okay, obviously, to go backwards if you have something you really want and you go back and add it. But if going backwards is to try to make you feel caught up, do not do it. Just start from where you are and move forward from here. Do not try to catch up and do it right. Instead, start from this day, this moment. Start where your feet are right now and let yourself. So trust that emerging and arising. So I'm running out of storage space on my phone, so this will be a little patch together here. So just really quickly, a look at our guidebook for June. I had 2 copies of this guidebook, one that has June and July's pages and one that has only June. So this is the only June. I have these pockets in the front that have my stuff. I had a Freya bookmark. I still have, again, some works in progress, things I was going to glue in or add to the book. And I didn't necessarily color everything, and that's okay. Some great stickers, more patterns from my friend Chalet's book. I'll link to that in the comments. And then, so yeah, these books are pretty fun to put together and use, and I really do. I am getting they're a lot of work for me, and so I'm kind of thinking, you know, what was I thinking, committing to essentially writing a new book every month of the year, which is essentially kind of what they are, but I just absolutely love using them myself. So this little pocket here has the tiny version of the Freya prayer book inside, which I think is pretty dang adorable. So I'm sharing that. Oops, I don't know if I can shut that one-handed. Oh, look, I can. And then there's a little tag book or tag card. And then the pages of the back. This one I got this great card from Kimberly Rodriguez and one of her patrons at Spellbound Manor, and she has a new book, Incantations Embodied, that's really great. And I loved both sides of this card, so a lot of times I glue them down, but this one was so good I made a pocket instead, so it's a slide out message instead of a stuck down one, so I can enjoy both of them. And yeah, I'm seeing some pages here that look kind of unfinished or incomplete, and that's okay. That's from Joni Ray, Tales of Kitchen Witch, and it's okay. And here's some other pieces that I will transfer over to my July practices. And if this practice is anything, it is flexible and expansive. It can expand or contract basically to fit your needs. This is about creating daily practices that fit your life, the life you're actually living, and creating a space for the sacred and for yourself in your ordinary life. So our practices ideally are small enough and simple enough to fit into our ordinary lives, while also intentionally and purposefully carving out that time. It can be easy to like let it go or to neglect matters of the spirit, and really they're essential to a nourished place of well-being, being able to act, work, move, choose, and create from a place of center, from a place of wholeness, from a place of power. And so we do need to grant ourselves the time and space for those practices that nourish and support us. But we don't want to make them so big that they become overwhelming and take over. So this is my little Freya, my little Freya prayer book, which I did quite a bit of stuff in with little extra bits and pieces, found poems and little bits of reading and things that I wanted to add. I get these printed, so these are black and white for anybody who's in the Goddess Guidance Club, but I get them printed on colored paper at Staples, which gives them a little extra pop and makes them feel more finished. So if I don't want, there's a lot of books to have to be working on, and so if I don't want to go back and color everything, it still looks finished and complete to have it on the colored paper. I did color, I colored some stuff with the glitter gel pens, and they got some little notes in there. And I got these great writing stickers from Nikki for a present for my birthday, and so there's some writing stickers in there. So lots of fun. That one was, I believe, from Colleen in our sticker swap. So that was great as well. So that's my little Freya prayer book. So hope you enjoyed this flip through, and I hope that you will continue to make time for yourself for those practices that support and nourish and sustain you. And I hope you will continue making a space for the sacred and yourself right in the heart and center of your own life, remembering that these practices are here to support you, to hold you and nourish you, not to tell you what to do. So as always, if you go to 30daysofgoddess.com, you'll find everything you need to get started or to support you in an ongoing daily practice. And until we speak again, keep living your magic. Bye-bye.